Hello everyone, and welcome to the ASMR Review Show. We are now finally talking about the big hit landmark game that is, of course, God of War. That is God of War, the God of War. God of War 4, but it's actually God of War 7. God of War, not 2005, God of War 2018, Yeah. Okay, jokes about the title aside, yes, I'm not a fan of new entries in the games having the exact same name as the original, I don't know, Doom 2016, that rolls nicely off the tongue. But God of War 2018, that's just, no, so much like it's been referred to, I like to say God of 4, right? And of course we do the good old thing that all the God of War games did, which was you go from the menu right into a cutscene, right into the game. So that's pretty cool. I like that. But this is a different game. You see, where all the other games started off with, violence and vengeance and anger. This is a very serious game about emotions and feels. And you can tell by the way that it starts with slow, somber, solemn music. This is a game about very serious things, very important details, right? And I'm just going to come out right off the bat and say it. I did not like this game as much as the Greek God of War games. Maybe it's better than some of the PSP ones. I did play Chains of Olympus and what's the other one? Not Ascension. I actually didn't play Ascension. My Ghost of Sparta. Yeah. Boy. There we go. The first of many. Boy. Yeah, okay. Well, we got that out of our system too. Yeah, so this is not a bad game. It's still a good game, but I wasn't a fan of the style and the way it was done. And it is a very personal thing for me. Now, I know there's lots of other people that really love this game, so if you do love it, that's great. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for liking it. But this game is very indicative of like the modern AAA trends, and every game wants to be like a dad simulator, a third person over the camera action adventure game with very light RPG elements and side quests. What did we call this one? I guess is it if we go by Yahtzee's terminology, is it a ghost train or is it a Jiminy Cockthroat, right? That's not a Jiminy Cockthroat, that's Horizon or Ghost of Tsushima. A ghost train is, I think, kind of like this style of game, right? The style just did not vibe with me, and I'm all for doing things different, right? It's not like I was just like, yeah, I want the violent game, but it's I feel like the game like takes itself so seriously. Like if I forgot to have fun, I don't know. I really slogged through the first many hours of combat in this game, and it took me a long time to kind of get the hang of how you're supposed to play it, and even then I'm not even sure if I did. I mean, maybe it was just I needed to get good, but I didn't like it. I really hated the camera in this game. I'm usually not one to complain about a camera in games, I liked the fixed cameras in Silent Hill 2. I like the claustrophobic over-the-shoulder camera in Dead Space. and I actually don't really have that many issues with the camera in most of the Dark Souls games. I know many people complain, but I can't recall having too much of a problem. But this game, yeah, no, this ain't it. Also, I'm drinking absinthe. I made it way too strong. I should have watered it down more. Okay, that's gonna be a lot for this one. It's gonna be good. Yeah. If I didn't mention already, this is an all bosses video. We're going over all the bosses in God of War, much like we did with God of War 3. But I did clickbait you. We're not going to do every boss in God of War 4. Why? Because many of them are lengthy fights against reskins. You know, we don't need to see every one of them giants that we fight, or every one of them soul leaders or stone guardians. We don't need to see every Valkyrie fight. So I'll show you a few here and there, but you know, I didn't need to show everyone. I recorded them all, and then I realized, like, no, the video is going to be like 9 hours long. And I don't need to do that. If Elden Ring only gets 8 hours, and God of War 4, like a nice 2.5, I think is a good length. And coincidentally, this video is about the same length of time it takes to do a side quest in this game, because the fast travel system is hot garbage. So let's see. Okay, where to begin? Well, we'll have plenty of time to talk about many things. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the camera. I'm not a fan of the combat. It's an interesting concept for a story. I know. Here's the main thing I gotta say. I have not played Ragnarok yet. I actually just bought it because it was on sale, and I do intend to play that one. So if I have any critiques of the story, that's stuff that gets explained later in Ragnarok, don't at me. I will get to it, and if I find I was proven wrong or something was said, then I shall admit defeat. First off, we gotta give a shout out to my girl Ivor on vocals. The soundtrack is by Bear McCreary, who we know has done a lot of great music, and the vocal performance here is by Ivor, who is a sort of a folk pop singer from the Faroe Islands near Iceland. My wife is like a huge fangirl for her, so part of the reason she wanted me to play this game was so we could hear Ivor's beautiful voice, and she is great indeed. And she makes her own good music, so automatically the game gets 3.5 stars just for Ivor. So that is good. Yeah, this is the first thing that's a little tricky, is the game. I mean, they didn't fridge the wife, the female character, the mom, because, you know, they didn't introduce her just to be killed. But at the same time, I don't really know her. Now, they try to do a pretty good job of getting me to feel for this character by the interactions and telling me, you know, remember when mom did this, or, oh, I remember her smile, and that's all really good. But it does, to me, feel very, you know, telling, not showing. I don't know who this character is, you know, and it's just, I don't know. To me, this felt very just like, look, he's got a female companion and she's dead. That's sad, right? You, as the audience, should feel sad because the woman is dead, and I don't know her, you know. Like, at least with John Wick, like, you know, he had that one video of his wife, and I could tell how much it affected him, and I knew that the dog was like the only thing he had left, so when he decided to go on the killing spree for the dog, it made sense to me. You know, or The Revenant, when Hugh Glass loses his son. We've seen the son as a character throughout like at least 40 minutes of the movie. You know, all I had was that boy, and he took him from me. Yeah, so, I don't know, not the biggest fan of that plot style. And then we've got, it was the thing that they made a big deal about the making of this game. It's all one shot. You know, there's no loading screens. It's all one camera angle, right? Again, because everybody wants to be the Revenant, right? Which is okay, because Revenant's like one of the best movies ever, so I'm okay with that. But you know, this ain't it. I do think it's funny they tried to make that a flex when Dead Space 2 basically did that, like 7 years before, and they didn't flex that in the marketing. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of nice, but it's kind of the issue I have with this game. It's the same issue I have to an extent with Metal Gear Solid 5's cutscenes, right? They tried to style a lot of Metal Gear Solid 5's cutscenes in that way, the no camera cuts. And I feel like it leads itself to being, you know, less cinematic. You know, like the characters have to like stop and wait for the camera to come over to them for the actions to happen. And there's lots of the camera zooming quickly back and forth between characters. Like it is an interesting style, and there are some great moments, but I don't know. I feel like just because you can have it all look like it's one camera shot doesn't mean you need to, you know. And the long takes seem to become kind of like showboaty, almost. So I don't know, not the biggest fan of that, and it's not even true, because like you do the fast travel bits and there's like a white screen for several seconds, like that's a loading screen, you know, and they make you run around in the weird realm between realm, multiple times just because the game's loading. Like, I don't know. I don't mind disguised loading screens, though. Disguised loading screens are nice. It's just not my favorite disguised loading screen. Also, I'm going to assume that giant was sleeping there, because there's no way that he stealthed up against him, right? This guy ain't the Solid Snake of giants. Or is he? Is it a giant? He's a troll, you know. And also, this is the footage of someone who is new to the game and playing it for the first time, so you'll have to bear with me. Some of these first fights will probably be like a little brutal, because it's someone who's like still trying to figure out like the way the combat works, and not fully understanding it. All right. Which button is throw axe? I don't know. So yeah, that's just what I'm saying, right? What was it? Yeah, it was double tap was to roll, but regular circle was like a little backstep, right? Okay, so Dark Souls style, right? So still getting the hang of it here and there. Yeah, come on past me, you can do it. Oh boy, good old boy. Boy is all-right. You know, he's an interesting character, right? 1 HP in a dream, am I right? Oh, I do have health goodies over here. There we go. Don't mind me. Boy is okay, but that's the other thing. I'm not the biggest fan of like the you know, having side characters to constantly yell and talk, right? Now again, of course, I'm spoiled by Dark Souls, because nobody ever talks in Dark Souls, right? The only people that talk in Dark Souls are weird people who have lost their mind going, ha 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 ha. Or bosses who be like, this is my name, and I'm a badass, now let us fight. You know, so to have a game then where it's everybody's constantly talking, right? I don't know. I guess there's a lot of talking in Mass Effect, perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. And I guess boys' callouts can be useful. You know, he does sometimes warn you about, like, when people are, like, doing projectile attacks on you, or when they're attacking you from behind. And just, like, I feel like it's awkward. Like, the camera's so close to Kratos, and I don't like you know, they knew what they were doing, and they put the camera so close in these claustrophobic environments. So let's make it so that we have to put arrows on the screen to tell you like when something's behind you, right? I was gonna turn them off, but like I ended up needing them. So, you know, I think I got the hang of the combat eventually. Like I did all of the challenges. In the the Muspelheim, right? Mustafar realm, basically. I did all those challenges. And you know, there's still some pretty satisfying grabs here, right? And it's funny because boy here, he's just basically meant to be like a gamer, right? He's basically all of us in this situation. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, them as a character, is Kratos, he's interesting. I mean, he's got dad vibes, so he's kind of hot. You know, and then they do the whole thing like they did in the Greek games, where it's, hey, here's all these big characters that we know, you know, and here's how they're doing now, right? That's fun. I like that. And I did end up being impressed by some of the visuals in the game. I don't know, maybe it was a way to avoid spoilers, but I felt like at least when this game was being shown off, every trailer or ad or review I saw, they kind of did a bit of an underwhelming job. Like, it was like everything seemed like it just took place in like a few square feet of snowy mountains. And, you know, don't get me wrong, snowy mountains are a nice environment. I like them. But it wasn't something I found too interesting. You know, I think of all the different visuals and areas you go to in the other God of War games, does have one that mostly took place in some mountains, right? Oh no, it's a neo-Nazi. Oh no. Okay, I know he's obviously not, man. He's just a guy with Viking runes, and Viking runes should not automatically be equated with that, and it's very annoying that that's been co-opted now. That really sucks, right? Thanks for the lame people for ruining it for everybody. Okay, there. We had my joke. That's it. It's over. Didn't realize Edward Norton from American History X was in this movie, am I right? Yeah, so the game ends up having a lot more visual moments to it, which is very nice. Yeah, I feel like this game, it did the same thing I felt with Uncharted 4, another game I wasn't the biggest fan of. Tried to make it all like this is a very serious adventure about emotions and feelings and people and the way they interact and, you know, converse with each other. It's about dialogue and like, no, Uncharted should be about fun spectacle action moments, and occasionally you get those moments in Uncharted 4, and you get those moments here, like that fight with the dragon on the top of the mountain. That was the moment that made me go, oh, so game, you know how to have a good time. You do know how, you've just actively chosen not to. Now this is of course the stranger, who turns out to be Baldur. Now, I thought this guy was supposed to be guarding a gate for the third time or something, but I guess he's too busy, you know, with this. I of course had this many times spoiled over for me, so it wasn't very a surprise, but I heard for many people this was like a big, like, jaw-dropping moment. You know, it's an interesting fight. It's all right. It's a nice tutorial fight. But the only thing for me is I feel like it keeps going on, and a lot of the moments happen in a cutscene. And so at a point I kind of just get to the point where I'm like, look, I know I'm not going to beat the guy. Can we just say that I've beat the tutorial and move on, you know? But perhaps this fight would hit a little different if you didn't know that this was a not a fight you could win, you know, just a fight where you temporarily set him back. But I guess it is nice, because I did complain about the Nadine fight in Uncharted 4, where they basically force you to get your ass kicked by her. Right. My thing also is that I was still probably operating under Dark Souls logic. That is that, you know, you don't just block with your shield because you'll lose your stamina. You want to, you want to use your shield, not just dodge roll. But yeah, and see, look at that, like a scripted moment where we have a fight here, you know. Boy, I don't know, man. You tell me. Yeah, so it's an alright fight, but it just feels kind of, you know, it's nice, it's good. I don't know what else to say. And I do like Kratos as a character in this one. You know, he's like definitely like a different style of person here. He's all, you know, very broken. Right. Come here. Hey, my bark is worse than my bite. Right. So, you know, there's a lot of interesting moments, but then there's a lot of these moments where just they have like big things happen while the camera is like, you know, up close and everything else is obscured, and, you know, just feels kind of like, you know, like they were trying to adhere to this whole no loading screens, all one camera shot, and didn't end up being as visually impressive, I think, as it could have been. Not to the same extent, but it kind of reminded me of Deadpool and Wolverine. Did not really like that movie at all, mainly because there's like so many scenes of just Deadpool and Wolverine like fighting each other, and it's like, I know neither of them are gonna kill each other. Like, I feel like we're just wasting time, you know, like we're just killing around. I'm almost like I'm checking my watch, like, okay, when does the pointless bickering end? Can we get on with the plot? Right. So I do feel this fight goes on like a little long, but, you know, what do I know, right? Yeah, it was something I got the hang of eventually. I don't know, like, if I had to do like star ratings, like God of War 4 would be a 3.5, and God of War 1 would be a 4, and then 2 and 3 would either be 4.5, maybe 2 would be a 5, just purely for being the best one. I think I still don't know if I like 2 or 3 better. But I would replay probably any of those games in a heartbeat, but I don't think I would ever bother replaying 4. I did get the platinum though, because it wasn't too difficult of one, you know. It was doable. I also, it's kind of one of those games where like they give you like different combos and moves you can, you know, do your little discount RPG elements, like change your specials or whatever. But it was kind of like I found what I liked, and I decided, you know what, I'm sticking with that. All right. And, you know, I love there's all this punching, all this fighting, but it all comes down to snapping someone's neck, right? And it's funny, it's the same mistake Man of Steel made, right? All these crazy moments, and it all comes down to a neck snap. Felt to me like Dragon Ball, right? Dragon Ball Z, right? I haven't watched much Dragon Ball Z, but it seems like there's always like a big, crazy fight. These characters punching each other, throwing each other, but usually it all comes down to someone just hitting someone with like a laser beam, and like they just get disintegrated in the laser blast, you know? Or like an episode of Digimon, right? Anyway, I will slowly walk back, and I'm sure nothing bad will happen. I don't know, it's like, it's weird, because there's like moments I feel that like certain games do, and it doesn't bother me, right? Like I never felt Shadow of the Colossus was boring or wasting my time. but yet here I find the walking around to be boring. But then like that bit in Nier Automata where you're like glitched out fighting for your life and trying to get to a safe area, like I loved that part. That was one of my favorite parts in the game. I don't know. It's like I think a lot of TV shows are boring and waste my time, but then Twin Peaks Season 3 I thought was like the best thing ever, and that is a show deliberately meant to kind of waste your time in some circumstances. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. But I knew from the start I wasn't going to be super into this game, because I remember when it came out I saw the way it looked and it didn't really interest me. So I never bothered, and I hadn't bothered with any God of War game until recently. I just decided to go on a big splurge, and I was pleasantly surprised by the other ones. Oh, no way, he's at the top waiting for me. But this one was kind of like, yeah, I was a little let down. The greatest game of all time, this is not. Which is why I thought it was funny then that when Ragnarok was simply announced, everyone was like, oh, it's automatically getting Game of the Year. It just simply exists, and therefore it's the best game ever. You know? But then again, sometimes I have my unpopular opinions. Sometimes I am a slave to the trends, and I just agree with the majority on it. It's how it is. Not much you can do. I mean, I do like the escalation of this fight, you know, it keeps ramping up, but I think by the time I got to this third bit, I was just like, oh, okay, you know. Yeah, that's the other thing. I really hate the enemies where they do a jump attack. It's like, how am I supposed to dodge that? I'm supposed to dodge that on timing, not actually like by dodging it, you know. I guess Dark Souls does pull some of those ones here. Mainly I'm talking about the Valkyries, the Valhalla attacks. Oh god, it's a sound that will haunt my very soul. I beat Sigrun, by the way. I beat Sigrun for the video. I did it. It was not easy. Yeah, so, and you only get 2 weapons, or I guess kind of 3. You have your fisticuffs, the axe, and of course eventually later, spoiler alert, you get the Blades of Olympus, right? But I was kind of okay with that, you know. I did feel like we were getting to a point in the God of War games where they were putting in too many weapons and too many items. It was getting to the point where I pick favorites and kind of stick with them. It's the problem I find with a lot of games. Like, here's all this cool stuff you can use, but I'm only going to use like the couple of basic ones that I'm the most used to. What can I say? I have my I got my safe food, my safe drink. I've got my safe weapons of mass destruction, you know. Oh well. And of course, what does it all boil down to? It all boils down to a neck snap, of course. He keeps talking that weird Viking language. Let's break his neck. I do like the brutality of the fight, but I don't know. You know, I'm just a sucker for the big Zeus fights, right? I guess the other issue I have with this game is a lot of it feels like setup for the next game, you know. Now we'll see how I feel about that when I actually go and play Ragnarok, but you know, there were so many moments that are talked about or alluded in this game. I really just seem to be like, please, please, please stick around, our sequel will have all the things. Which is not necessarily the worst thing. I mean, like, Batman Begins is a very great movie, but it does end on a tease for the Joker, but it was totally worth it to wait for that, because that movie was then like the biggest, baddest movie of all time, right? It think I was talking about this the other day. It's a vibe I get from the movie The Godfather. We all know the Family Guy sketch. Peter talking about The Godfather insists upon itself. What does that mean? Well, it just means it insists upon itself, right? It's just what it is. But what I take that to mean, and it is true, I feel this way too. For some reason, even though there's no way they could know this when making the movie, it's like they knew, like, this movie we make here will be considered to be the greatest movie of all time. Which is paradoxical. Like, you can't know that unless you're a time traveler. Like, when I make this movie, everyone will agree this is the greatest movie of all time. They'll say things like the greatest American film of all time, whatever that means. That's the vibe I get from The Godfather. That's the vibe I get from Heat, to an extent. But in Heat's case, they were right. That is the greatest movie of all time. It's the vibe I get from The Dark Knight. Just this sort of aura of, like, you know, smug importance, which, again, in most cases, this is not misplaced. Godfather is a very great movie. Dark Knight, Heat, those are all great movies too. And it's a good mentality to have, you know, like what Glenn Schofield said. You don't set out to make the second scariest game of all time, right? When he was making Dead Space, you set out to make the scariest game of all time, right? This is important. But it's kind of the vibe I've gotten from these God of War games. Like, we knew we were making the greatest video game of all time, right? Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't vibe it, sorry. But it all seems to come down to like a prequel vibe. Like, this is just the setup for what they really wanted to do. And I know to an extent that's true because there's so many characters that are, like, alluded to in this that we don't really see. And I guess it's kind of true for God of War 1. But God of War 1's tricky because, you know, I never really got the vibe from God of War that, like, Zeus was the main bad guy. All the other gods had these little cameo appearances. Be like, Kratos, I have a weapon for you. You should use this to fight that monster. Yeah, I always felt Ares was the main bad, and he was in it, right? And Zeus didn't really show up until the second one, but he showed up right away, and he was there. This is just weird that we talk so much about Thor and Odin, and yet they're barely a part of it. You know, just a lot of it feels kind of sequel baity, you know, but I guess it's okay in this case because I know that they're in the sequel and everyone apparently loves them, so, you know, I can't complain. It's not like a sequel bait for a movie that never happened. And here we go, my boy Jormungandr, the World Serpent. Yes. Any criticism I have to say about the game is completely the World Serpent's immune to any criticism. We love the World Serpent. This is one of the first images I saw from the game was like this screenshot of like him, and at first I thought, like, is he like a weird, like, floating head? He kind of looked like something out of Resistance or Doom, perhaps, like a cacodemon. I didn't realize he was like the head of a serpent based on that camera angle. And then at first I thought, aw, does he only have like this one little cameo here and that's it? But, like, no, he plays a pretty substantial role, and he hangs around a lot, and he helps you out. So yeah, I like the World Serpent. He's cool. And I like that he shows up at the end and he helps take down the corpse, that frost giant. But now, of course, for everything that's cool about the game, it's balanced out by something I don't like. So, World Serpent, that's cool, that's awesome. But then we get to, like, moments like, oh wow, we should totally explore the plot. Or hey, maybe instead we should go explore around a bit, right? And I hated the game at this moment because the game baited me. Because the game told me, hey, you could advance the plot. Or perhaps maybe you should explore. So I went and explored, and then I had to spend all the time mucking about in the boat. No, come back here, please. That was oh, okay, we're doing this. Hello? That annoyed me because, I throw this at you. Aha. Now I take off your disguise. That annoyed me because if I had just walked like 5 feet further, I would have encountered a dwarf that would have given me a fast travel relic. And, that would have saved me like hours of tedious running around in the boat. And man, I hate the fast travel system in this game so much. I mean, it's like deliberately wasting my time. Like, the game is like, hey, look, I've got a perfectly great fast travel system for you, where you can like have a main hub area, and you can go from there to all these little bits around the map, and then back, right? Oh, cool. So are you gonna let me use it? No, you can only use it to go back from the place to the center. Even if you've gone from the center to the place and unlocked it, you have to go there yourself. Don't ask me why. Right. Also, this is a soul eater. We fight many of him. It's a fun style of fight. I don't mind it, And a lot of these bosses, they aren't really bosses, It's just like it's like mini bosses, or like a tough enemy that just happens to have a boss health bar. I don't really think of it that way. Are you still kicking? Oh, right, I forgot about you. Come on, show me your chest. There we go. Yeah, so I hate how the fast travel system like deliberately decides, I just don't feel like that you're allowed to travel around this time. I just don't feel like it. Maybe if you check back like 2 hours later, I'll let you do this. But for now, I just don't feel like it. I really don't like that. And so here we have Svartáljŭfurr. Svartáljŭfurr is one of them dark elves, right? You got the night elves and the light elves and the dark elves, right? And they're all at war with each other, I guess. Is this Svartalheim we're in? The realm of the light elves? I forget the names of all the realms. Svartalheim, the night realm. I don't remember. So yeah, we have this guy, right? And he's like the head of them. And he's a bit of an annoying fight. Mainly the whole the darkness effect that he uses. Just these little bombs, and they seem like they have a much larger range than you would expect, Decides to leave him down at the worst opportune moment, Blinded by the dark. Nope, I guess I'm blinded again. Okay, well, maybe we'll see him eventually. Nope, blinded one more time. It's a serviceable fight, Nothing too special, just kind of annoying. I just really hate when you have to fight these guys in the Muspelheim realm, That just gets a little frustrating. Oh, darkness again. I don't think the ones there drop these down as much. The little, like, blindness, darkness bombs, whatever you call them, But I definitely had my fair share of annoyance with them challenges, right? But yeah, this was the first area in the game where I was like, so you know how to do some cool visuals game. I see, okay. Forgive me, I wasn't familiar with your game. So, I do like that. There were some nice moments in there, right? The bit where, like, you're passed out in that vision, turns out you were there for, like, hours, while Boy was, like, fighting off a whole bunch of the Dark Elves. When I see these guys, I just am reminded of the Archon, and, Remnants, or what is it, whatever the things are. Made a grave mistake. Oh, okay, well, I'm sure maybe will be revealed in the next game. I don't think that really comes back to us in this game. Yeah, so that was kind of the first area where I was like, okay, game, okay, you're getting somewhere. I like what you're doing. The other thing I don't like about you really had to open your big mouth, kid, is I don't like when a game gives you like the opportunity to like explore around in areas, and but then you take your time to get to an area and it turns out, sorry, you haven't unlocked this ability yet. And it's like, don't waste my time that I went all the way to this one island and I went there only to find out I can't do the thing, and then to find out, oh, and you're also not going to let me fast travel out of there, right? Like, the game told me, go explore or progress the plot, so I went and explored. Turns out I should have progressed the plot, because if I had gone 5 feet further, I would have unlocked the fast travel, So, yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. But, that's just me being a hater. And this elevator fight I did like. There are these moments, right, where the game builds to bits, where like you have these intense battles and you're running and you're fighting for your life. And those moments are pretty great. I like them. At first I was worried that was the end of the boss fight, but no, we ain't done yet. We're just getting started. Oh, I've done it many times before. I guess, yeah, you can also do fashion souls with your armor, and, the armor upgrades are nice. There's some cool abilities here you can do. Though I feel some of them are like, pretty crazy. You want to earn this one thing, you got to do this big challenge area. You want to do this other, you got to do the other big challenge area. It's Muspelheim, and what's the darkness realm, the one where it's the labyrinth, and the mist echoes, right? Mist echoes, yeah, good times. So yeah, see, a moment like this, I'm like, this is what I wanted from the game, big moments and spectacle, right? I definitely made this absinthe too strong. Yeah, alright. Time for your dentist appointment. Also, the whole press for an attack and a heavy attack, does it really matter which one you do? I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of one of those things, like the illusion of player control, like a lot of the good old Ghost Train type games. But yes, this is a pretty badass, awesome fight. Now see, I was like, I have a feeling what I gotta do. I'm like, you threw these here, you just showed me, hey, by the way, you can throw these stones into the lightning, right? Oh, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Come on, you gotta throw it at the right time, dingus. There you go. I see. No? No? What am I doing? Or am I hitting you? Am I missing something? Throw that at you. Hello? Oh, the snoot. Of course. You gotta bonk that spot on the snoot. Of course. How silly of me. Yeah. You see, I think a good boss fight, maybe you need a chance or two to figure it out, but like you should be able to be like, okay, I'm familiar with your game, I know the mechanics, and this is how we do it, right? All very standard stuffs. And okay, it's a shockwave. Do I need to dodge roll it? Do I need to jump it? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what my favorite fight in the game is. This is definitely one of them, though, because this is like the moment where I was just like, finally, something awesome, I mean, despite her being like insanely crazy difficult, I did really like the Sigrun fight and the Valkyries fight, even if they did really piss me off sometimes, but they were, for the most part, very well-designed fights, for the most part. Okay, I'm gonna need one of those, please. Thank you. There we go. I'm familiar with your game. Yes, boy, I'm aware. I just had the timing right, you know. Timing. No, not then. When he does the lightning past me, there, see? That's when you're supposed to do it. Good job. Now boop the snoot. Alright. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. And of course, like every good boss, you know, they make it so you get a whale on them for a bit, but then they hit you afterwards, so you gotta be at the ready for it, right? This is classic. I don't know how you're supposed to dodge that attack. Is it a dodge? Is it a shield? Is it a jump? I don't know. How do you say his name? Hræzlyr? Hræzlyr? I don't know. Okay, here we go again. On my own. It's nice of him to put his feet down there. Yeah, so, I don't know. I watched lots of reviews and videos about, like, you know, what, too slow, what makes this game the greatest game of all time, right? I watched the videos on, and I'm, like, hearing it, and it's like, I don't know, I don't want to say people are cherry picking, but because this is a thing I do, right? There's, like, it's okay to recognize when something you love has some stuff wrong with it, right? Like, for example, Alien. We haven't talked about it yet. We better talk about it. We always do. In Alien, I was thinking the other day about how there's a very awkward moment where, like, there's a scene with Ripley and Brett and Parker, and they're in a room with a lot of steam going off. So obviously the audio has been overdubbed because they couldn't film the on-set audio. There was all this steam. So there's like a really weird moment where, like, we hear, like, the on-set audio of what Ripley said plus the dubbed line, and they don't match, right? It's like she says, "Don't worry, Parker, you'll get what's coming to you." But, like, in between, like, during the take, like, she said, like, "Yeah." So it's like, "Don't worry, Parker, yeah, you'll get what's coming to you." It's a very, very awkward moment, you know. Or the one camera cut from the fake Ronald Reagan looking Ash head to, you know, Ian Holm underneath the table, right? Like moments like that, for example, you know, you love it, it's great, but you can point out things that are wrong with it, but you're just like, this movie has flaws and it's boring and it's not good. I don't care, I love it, it's the best movie ever. Right? I feel like it's kind of like that when it comes to God of War. Like, it seems to me like people aren't denying that the fast travel is bad, or that some of the stuff is tedious, or that the boss fights are repetitive. But it seems to me like the idea is just, this game has a lot of problems with it, and it's not perfect. I don't care. I love it. And this was the moment where I was just like, yeah, you see, this is what it's all about. Shove that in there. Boss finisher, explosion, and wait for it, and swag. This was the moment where I just wanted to stand up and cheer, like, you do know how to have fun, game. You do. You know how it's done. Like, where was the moment like that for the longest time? Where was the spectacle, right? Oh, Sindri and, what was his name? Brock? You know, what you need. I have a feeling they're going to return in Ragnarok. I'd like to see that, you know, all the good characters. Mainly, I'm excited for Hræzlyr, however you say his name, to be a main character. The game added all these spirit summons, essentially. Game added all these spirit summons, and I ended up just using Hræzlyr for most of it, because he either gives me rage or he gives me health. And that's what I need, because boy decides to take his sweet time getting me health, right? What's this guy? He's got a bag of holding. You know. Interesting. And yep, wouldn't be a AAA game if we didn't have a crazy, insane, life-threatening scenario followed up by a little bit of comedy. At least sort of. I mean, it's strange. Okay, Last of Us, right? Like, Last of Us, the video game, was very humorless, you know, and then the show tried to add humor and totally failed at it, right? And here we have good old not Adam Driver, I think. It's like, let me hear his voice here. My sweet Gullveig. I just expect him to go, you know, Han Solo. He was weak, so I killed him. And surprise, surprise, Gullveig is a wraith. You want to be reunited with your mom? Okay, you will reunite her in death. Oh, wraiths. It's hard to rank worst enemies in the game, but it's definitely these. But thankfully I was powerful by this point. May have been a level or two over. It's just like they like deliberately dodge all your attacks, right? I don't like them. Gullveig. Now, I don't mean to say a toe-to-so, but a fucking a toe-to-so, a fucking a toe-to-so. Yeah, it's kind of funny. This game is kind of one of them games where it's like everything's super serious, and then all of a sudden, oh, humor, comedy, right? Something that everyone complained about Marvel doing. The Last of Us, the video game, doesn't do that. It's like all like dour and serious all the time. And then the TV show tried to do that, and everybody hated it. Like, oh my god, I hate Ellie saying, I'm going to be a dad. Bella Ramsey ruined my childhood, and she murdered my pet goldfish. Right? There was a lot more worse than that show. Bella Ramsey was like the least thing wrong with it, right? And you can put whoever you want in that role, and if they gotta read lines like that and have a show edited like that, that's gonna be bad no matter what. And here we have Thor's sons, Magni and Modi. And yeah, these guys suck, man. Thor kind of sucks, doesn't he? This is another pretty good fight, you know. There's moments to it. There's stages. I like the vibe. It felt pretty balanced. I don't know if I was what would you say, over leveled. I mean, I'm trying to think. They're blue, right? Is it orange? Is screw you, you die. Purple is you're gonna have a bad day. Blue is I think you can get this done. And green is, yeah, you got this, bro. I think. So, yeah, I guess that's the interesting thing is now I can kind of rewatch my footage and look at this in the lens of that, they want Atreyu, they want boy, because he is actually Loki. Now, Loki, you know, I'm trying to think. There's Norse mythology Loki, and then there's Marvel Loki. And of course, those are two different ones. I don't know if Marvel Loki ever transformed into a horse and got pregnant. Maybe he did. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie yet. Yeah. So I don't know. Are they implying that Atreus is... No, he's not Odin's son, because Loki was adopted, right? He's his brother. He's adopted. I also don't know. Is it actually possible to kill one before the other? Or is it like kind of like scripted which one dies first, right? No, I think it is, yeah, because one of them shows up in cutscenes later. Yeah. Oh, shoot, man. He pulled the your mom joke. Oh, okay. Look, the kid's really young, okay? He's very susceptible to the your mom jokes, right? It's, they try to fake you out, right? This is a game that is pretty split down the middle in terms of the mommy issues versus daddy issues. For those who don't know, I have said that all media can be classified on the scale of mommy issues to daddy issues, right? Some more so than others, right? And this one, it goes pretty split down the middle, right? But that's okay, you know, there's a lot of good stuff like that. And then, of course, you know, you can say, you know, how straight or how gay is it, right? This is a pretty straight game, I would say. I guess the little bit of bisexual representation you get is there's a lot of hot men with, you know, burly muscles and beards, but you also got some, you know, nice witchy looks like the Witch of the Woods and Freya, right? You know, and then of course the other joke that I heard was someone said all media can be classified on the scale of, is it a metaphor for 9/11 or a trans allegory? I don't know if it's a trans allegory, really. Maybe you could take it that way. This is the question I said, is everyone talks about the Matrix being that way, and was it intended to be that way? I think so. Because Switch, the person's name is Switch, and they were intended to be like presenting as more femme in the Matrix or more masculine in the real world, or the other way around. So I'm say we can give that one, like, yeah, that was accurate. And yeah, we got another pretty satisfying kill. That's good. So yeah, that was another fun fight. Again, this is what I say, I'm not saying the game is bad. It is still a good game. It's frustrating because there are these moments when everything comes together and it's like we're nailing it. We're like so good. Everything is where it needs to be. And then there's moments like, hey, why don't we go do some side quests? I'm like, ever since Dead Space 3 did it, I hate when a single player story-based game decides that the best thing is to do random side quests for leveling up. So here we go. We have one of the first Valkyrie fights against Gunnar, right? And these Valkyrie fights are no joke. Indeed, they are tough. I definitely had some I want to throw my controller moments in these fights. And I think they're basically all optional, right? It's all just side questing stuff. But this is kind of where it was at, you know, for me, was the Valkyrie fights. Like, I wanted the challenge, and nothing felt more satisfying than ripping off these Valkyries' wings, right? It's just really tough because all of them have, like, their own little unique gimmick or attack or moments, right? And it's your job to figure out what it is and the best way to exploit their moveset, right? And so that's what makes it tough, is you essentially got to learn a new moveset for all of them. And that's why Sigrun is difficult, because she basically combines all of the moments from them. Now these fights, they still aren't perfect. I really don't like the jump attack. I find that's kind of bull. And yeah, I find there's the one like real quick, like sort of like a lunge they do. And I don't really like that because I find it like comes out so quick that you basically, your natural react would be to block, but you need to dodge. You know, I guess I can't say this ripped off Sekiro though, because it came first. But you know, the whole like, oh, this attack's got a red icon on it, so it's it's an unblockable one, right? Come on, let's go. Let's go, your mind. We can do this, right? That's it. Those wings are mine. Yeah. And that's where it's at. A satisfying boss kill. A nice moment of some lore at the end. There's like this sadness behind all these spirits kind of being like corrupted, right? I like this vibe. That's a nice vibe. You know, these Valkyrie fights where it's at. Just kind of my, my inner soul's Stockholm syndrome, need for the BDSM. I need the game to beat me until I love it, right? I'm just sad I didn't get to wear one of these, helms, as like an outfit or something. That would have been fun. But alas. So here we go. We have another Valkyrie fight. Gondul, the Muspelheim one, right? And I think this might have been one that I came back to later, as in like I tried to fight her and realized, this ain't it, right? Like she's got the orange health bar, right? So it tells you right there, like things are pretty tough. Probably one of the more difficult ones, right? I found it was, see, like there, like the jab, like it comes out so fast. How are you supposed to react? Yeah, she's kind of got another one that sort of like stuns you, and I found really the only way to deal with that was to just make sure I basically didn't run out of arrows. And so then we could get Boy to stun her in midair, I also didn't really bother unlocking many of the rage upgrades a lot. You see there, she baits you, she does Valhalla, but then like rains down fire first, and then does that move. So, I don't know, can you tell from my footage, do you think I'm getting the hang of it? I think I'm getting the hang of this, right? Maybe not. I mean, I know there's somebody who probably beat this game one-handed with a blindfold with no damage in 10 seconds flat. What do you know? I got hit by the bullshit charge again. You see, that's the thing with that dodge, is it's a timing thing, right? I think basically once I discovered that time-slowing relic, I just like never took it off. Like it's just probably one of the best ones. I forget where we get it from though. That's why you don't spam your arrows too fast. You can have arrows. And I'm trying to think of what kind of claw grip I had, but like essentially I was able to like just be like continuously like tapping square, not even thinking about it, while still having my hands on block and attack. Right? And wait, yep, there it is. I'm trying to think. I think I mapped it so like, I don't think I messed with the controls. I think I kept it very the same, like circle is dodge and R1 and R2 as oh, there we go, got blinded. Yeah, got hit by that god awful attack. I think I kept it as is because I saw the way it looked and I was like, okay, L1 block, circle, dodge, R1 regular attack, R2 heavy attack, okay. So it's just like Dark Souls. The only thing I wish of that slam is it had a little more forward momentum, Oh well. Yeah, the Muspelheim sections was like a little crazy. There was a lot to deal with it. Some of them challenges got pretty crazy. There was the one like take no damage. That was basically like, right, I'm a runaway, and boy, I'm gonna need you to just use all the arrows, right? Yeah. The one thing I do like, I like how when you step on a healing stone that it also counts as an attack and it stuns enemies. That's a nice little touch. I like that. The other thing I'm kind of worried about is what kind of sequel is God of War Ragnarok gonna be? You see, there's many types of sequels. Some sequels, like God of War 2, is a good sequel, because they're just like, hey, we know what you liked. Oh, and of course, got. You know, I mean, it's not the worst death animation. You got a tall Viking lady to step on you and break your neck. That sounds kind of nice, you know. You know, just saying. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so there's the good kind of sequel, right? Where it's like you just like, hey, we know what you liked. Here's more of that with a couple little tweaks. God of War 2, Dead Space 2, good sequels. I like that. Then you got the sequels where it's like, we're going to drastically change some stuff and like really mess with you, and it's going to be different but good, you know, Metal Gear Solid 2, for example. And then you have sequels where it's like, okay, we're going to tweak a few things and make it better, but in some cases we're going to learn the complete wrong lesson and make it worse in some areas, right? Like everything that made it better is everything that made it worse. I kind of feel that way about God of War 3. And I also got that vibe from what I played of Doom Eternal. I didn't have my thing charged yet. Oops. Yeah, I didn't really, I don't know, from what I played of Doom Eternal, I was just like, this ain't it, Chief. God, we're almost there, I can do this. Yeah, those wings are mine. Then I got my wings and I learned how to fly. Yeah. Baby. Yeah, I got that vibe from Doom Eternal. They were like, we're going to improve a bunch of stuff and also just change things, thinking it makes it better, but no, it doesn't really. I don't know, I'm a little worried that God of War Ragnarok is that kind of one where perhaps it's like things are better, but things are also worse. Like I think I've seen some footage where you play as boy throughout it. So we'll see if that makes it better or not. I haven't actually played any of the Horizon games. My wife played them, and she said she wasn't the biggest fan of well, she liked Forbidden West, but ultimately she felt that that Zero Dawn was better, and I think she said her main complaint with it was she didn't like the whole narratively the game is telling me, hey, you gotta get west as fast as you can because this is very important and we're on borrowed time. But then gameplay-wise, the game was like, hey, here's all these cool hidden dungeons and fortresses. Too bad you can't check them out yet, but maybe if you come back here later when you've unlocked a couple of cool abilities, perhaps you can go see them then, right? So it was the same vibe I got from this game, you know? Like, wow, it's really got to quickly get up to that mountain and spread our mom's ashes, but oh, I guess we could just, like, you know, screw around and hang out for a while, right? So, I don't know, I'm not a fan of that, narratively. That was why I really hated that god-awful, quote-unquote, open-world segments of Last of Us 2. Thankfully, it was the only moment in that game, but I was like ready to throw hands, like, no. Why do video game studios think that the best thing that a tightly paced narrative game can do is ask me to screw around doing side quests? There is a time and place for games like that. If it's a full-on open-world Memorpica RPG game like Witcher, that's okay, because that's the style of game. Same thing with Horizon, right? Oh yeah, also this is the Mist Realm. Which one is it again? I forget. They all sound the same, but this is the one with the labyrinth and the mist echoes, and you know, you can level up your mist echoes and fight the Valkyrie. You know, and it's a fun segment. You know, there's a fun kind of ticking clock element to it. Good old mist echoes grind. You know, there are some fun moments in it, so I didn't mind it too much. Thought it was alright. And there's another Valkyrie fight. So I think I've shown enough. I think we're done here. So now it is time to descend into Helheim, the underworld, and there's the giant bird in the distance, and he just is sort of standing there menacingly. Ooh. Yeah. And there's this giant guy, and he's basically like all the other giant guys, but he's got a few more little attacks. I remember seeing there was a little variety to him, so I didn't mind him as a reskin. Máttugr Helson, yeah. I don't know. This is definitely the part of the game where I was starting to get into it a little more. Well, first of all, we got the good old Blades of Chaos, because these are all ice guys, and the axe does the ice damage, and that's no good. We need something a little more than that. So, good old Blades of Chaos. So yeah, I definitely missed them. I realized that like part of the thing I was also missing with the combat was like that. With the axe, you don't really have much for like a crowd control. Like it's kind of like you didn't have a much range. It was very like in your face and claustrophobic, and this just seemed like it opened up the mobility and a lot more. So I really like that. And you can see here the game knows how to control a camera. Like look at that, it zoomed it out nice. Like why couldn't this have been like the default? FOV, right? I don't get what that was all about, but well, I think I was still trying to get used to figuring out the combos, the good old blades, right? But if there's one thing I know, it's how to mash quick attack when time is slowed down, right? Yeah, so this is a pretty cool part here, and it's the good old classic have to descend into hell, right? Or at least this game's version of it. Now, again, there's the other thing I still question, right? But again, if it's explained in Ragnarok, don't tell me, okay? And that is how Kratos got from the. Oh, can we dodge that? Maybe. How about that? Nice, good job, past me. Is how Kratos got from the Greek mythology land into the Norse mythology land, right? I think they kind of hint at it, like all these realms are kind of like interlocked and related to each other. Oh yeah, I recall there's a bit where we see there's all these artifacts from like different religions and different worlds, right? And like Odin kind of has seen all these other different bits, so it's like a multiverse universe kind of thing. I'm not sure. I'm interested to see how it goes. I did have one thing already spoiled for me in Ragnarok, and I've seen a clip where like we see like Greek Kratos like try to grab a boy through a portal, but I don't know the context of that scene, so I'm gonna try and keep it that way if possible. There we go. Another one of them giants down, I think, maybe? No? Oh, I see, he's 1 HP in a dream. You can't dodge roll that attack. Okay. Nope. One more. No, it really get me with the knockback. Alright, there we go, I think. Maybe? Oh, I see, the game wants me to kill him over here so that the cutscene makes sense. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. I guess another thing I had Ragnarok spoiled was I don't think you fight as many of these giants. Because the first one that shows up, we see, he shows up and Kratos just kills him in a cutscene. So, that's nice. There we go. And, is this the part where we see Zeus in the sky and, Mimir is all like, wait a minute, you're related to Zeus, I knew it. yeah, there's some cool bits that play on it. And again, I like the visuals to this area. It's nice that each of the 9 realms has its own distinct visual design. I feel like people didn't really do a good job of selling me on this game, because when they did, they were normally like just showing all the snowy mountain stuff from like the first 5 minutes, and I guess that's good for no spoilers. But to me, it just made the game seem very samey looking. It was the same thing I felt about, again, Uncharted 4. Gonna compare that game too, right? They were a little more focused on having a game about feels and drama and emotion, and kind of neglected to have the spectacle here and there. I don't know. I mean, it is nice that the basis of the story is a very straight up forward and personal one. It's they just simply want to go. It's the story of how we just went to go spread Mom's ashes, and we got caught up in a big interdimensional multiversal war of all the gods. Just another crazy day out. Alright. Yeah, don't linger here because you might see some weird stuff. Zeus. Helheim Zeus. Oh, yeah. Hey, man. How's it going? Mimir's fun. I like him. Helheim. Yeah, once you go past the bird, you never come back, I think, right? We get pretty close to the bird, and that's about it. I had a feeling that he was supposed to be incorporated a little more. I don't know. And so what are we doing now? We're doing more stuff about unlocking the realm of the giants. Yeah, because everything was very specific. There was, she said go to the tallest mountain in all the land, but it wasn't actually the real tallest mountain. It was the tallest mountain in Jotunheim. And we go there, and of course we're going to find out the history that boy is actually Loki, and he's part frost giant. I also think I had the thing spoiled. Doesn't he wild shape into a bear? It's not an owl bear, so that's good. But yeah, again, man, the divorced daddy issues, right? That's what it's all about in games these days. Dad Simulator 9000. I think this fight I had coming up was the one against the duo giants, which is a fun concept in fight. This kind of idea that like one is weak to one element and one is weak to another. But I'm pretty sure I just mashed quick attack and then I won anyways, Yeah, never forget who you are. Alright, is this before or after that he went all like, moody on me? I don't remember. There's the bit where he gets all, he goes through his angsty teenager arc. I forget if I included that. Because it's kind of a boss fight, where we're like fighting on the dragon. It kind of is, but kind of isn't. I don't really like to count it, but maybe I did. Ooh, I don't know. Alright, here we go. Grendel of the Ashes. Grendel, Beowulf. Alright. Oh, fisticuffs, we don't need that. There we go. So, yeah, this is where I think I didn't realize, I'm fighting that one that way. Yeah. So, we'll include this one because it's a little bit different. There's this thing of them having the two different elements. But, again, they are powerless to the power of mashing quick attack, right? Oh, yeah, the darkness thing, that's interesting. And then the other one heals. I honestly didn't even pay attention, like half the time I'm never really paying attention to the health bar at the bottom of the screen because I'm more focused on, eyes on the road. Right. Thanks, Hræzlyr. Oh, I'm excited to see more of him. I know there's that whole thing about, like, ringing the bell constantly, right? Okay, well, we'll see how well this goes. Yeah, so I'm trying to think, what would I want differently in the game? Well, I would want the exploring to be a little more refined. Like, don't waste my time by giving me the option to explore, but then not giving me the fast travel, and then just saying, I don't feel like it, right? And don't bog the game down with random, well, we could go and explore this thing, or maybe perhaps we should go to explore all those side quests, the ones that developers put a lot of hard work into and wouldn't want to be missed out on at all. Oh, here we go. This is the bit angsty bit, right? Now, the other thing I can't remember, did I include Modi dying? No, I can't remember. See, some of the details are mine. Did we actually kill Modi in this one, or just does he run away crying? Because I remember that boy gets all mad at him in a cutscene. And do we break his neck also? I think so. Alright, let's break his neck. And, yep, in a classic story, right? Yeah. Classic story, right? There's always one thing to stall us a little further, right? We're almost there, except we're not. And, once again, more random fisticuffs and fighting, and it all amounting to nothing, right? Oh well, that's how it is. Punching and kicking, just, again, break his neck. Also, yeah, Kratos, he's evolved from forced decapitation to consensual decapitation. That's nice. It's just like Agrippa from Amnesia, pretty good. And, oh, god damn it, Kratos. You done goofed, right? Oops. That's what I get for being the god of war, right? But boy was pissed. And, yeah, I think he'll get over it eventually. Maybe, And, oh, he's playing on the whole, you're not inspiring him to be his own person kind of thing, right? And, yeah, as we're going up the mountain, he's getting angsty, I think, yeah. Yeah. That's the other thing as well, is it's like, there's the fast travel is kind of awkward because there's basically points in the game where they need you to not be able to fast travel to places, and so they just randomly take the option away from you so that you have to go walk the full distance, so that you can have to go that way and listen to the dialogue, right? And yeah, this is another moment I'm not a fan of, because conceptually I'm like, okay, I see this part start, like, yeah, this is going to be great. It's going to look amazing. And then I get to it, and because of their whole, no loading screen rules, it's just like, well, now we're flying through fog, right? There's been so many great video games with lots of amazing flying sequences, Shadow of the Colossus, Uncharted 3, and basically it all boils down to just a very awkwardly framed close-up where you just mash the quick attack button and everything is just done in fog and shadow, and there's no sense of scale or height, and then you basically just do, the game says here, it's a playable cutscene essentially, and I'm not a fan of it, Like, I remember thinking of some of those moments in God of War, where you're, like, climbing on some rocks and the camera's so zoomed out and you can see a big, giant landscape and you're crawling across the whole body of a Titan. Like, remember the Kronos fight in God of War 3? Alright, and you could just see all of Tartarus, the pits of it all out, spread out behind you. And, why won't you die? You know why? Nanomachines, son. You can't hurt me, Jack. And, yeah, this sequence is still going. I don't know. This fight to me, I just found tedious. You know, there was not much to it, and I didn't really feel like I'm in the zone. I mean, again, perhaps this could be because I knew that it wasn't the final boss fight, so I know that this is all for naught. But yeah, and even the final boss fight, it's pretty good, but like I was sort of feeling the intensity to it, right? But somehow Baldur returned. Still ain't guarding that gate, man. All them the mind flayers are gonna get through, right? I don't know, like there's a lot of big moments, and I just this ain't it. Oh, there we go. Now we can see stuff. And I'm trying to remember what happens now. Right? Do you actually control it here? I think you do. Hi, Yormonger. How's it going? I can see you up there. You're cool. I like how you're just sort of watching over everything and how you're a bro. That's fun. And, isn't this the bit where, like, yeah, he's trying to... What's he trying to do? I think he's trying to bring him to Odin, right? And, this is where we're like... Oh, yeah, we're trying to go to Asgard, right? Yeah, he's trying to bring him to Odin. That's right. I remember most of the plot, but then I don't remember all the little bits, and I'm also... You know, the time between me playing this game and now is quite a while. Why? Because I played the game, edited my footage, and then Elden Ring Night Rain came out, you know. How about that Everdark Maris fight? That was certainly a choice. They were like, what if we combined Elden Beast with the Storm Ruler from Demons of Souls, but not in a good way? I don't know, I don't hate the Maris Everdark fight. It's just, in all the other cases with a Storm Ruler style of weapon, it's like there's always a like a way to you know, like properly hit the boss close up. And here we go, blurry background because it's a disguised loading screen, right? Again, I just feel that this whole one camera take harmed the presentation, you know. I don't know, man, even thinking back, like Dead Space 2 managed to have a much better one camera take presentation with lots of details hidden in there properly. Anyway, it is now time for Sigrun. Here we go. The Valkyrie Queen. Alright. Let's go, boy. So, this is definitely one of the craziest, most difficult fights I've ever experienced. Definitely the hardest one in the game. And I remember watching footage of it, not really, like, understanding, like, what made it so tough. Because, you know, just, like, seeing the footage, you could see, like, okay, that your health bar would, you know, go down drastically from, like, only a couple hits, right? Like, I can... Oh, you didn't yell Valhalla. That's cheating. You're supposed to yell Valhalla. Thank you, Rastaskafkor. So, I could tell from that, like, yeah, the health bar goes down a lot. Like, she does a lot of damage. But, yeah, I guess she ain't saying Valhalla no more, right? We just gotta know. And, missed her on that attack there. That ain't good. Funny enough how, like, this is my winning run, but, like, I feel like I wasn't even doing the hottest this run. Especially when you see the gargantuan health bar she has, right? Like, I am I think, basically max level, right? And she's still like orange level difficulty, right? Like, yeah, this don't mess around, right? But I do really love this fight a lot. Really felt accomplished after doing it, and you know, ripping off the wings, absolutely most satisfying I've ever felt. And of course, what makes her tough is all of the individual Valkyries had their own, you know, special little gimmick or style to them, and now she's got all of them put together at once, right? So you will see her use every technique all the other ones have thrown at you. That's the only one I hate, is the lunge attack, right? Like, how are you supposed to react to it? I don't know. But yeah, you gotta watch out, because like it can be any minute where she'll just like all of a sudden just pull out a crazy wombo combo like that, you know? I guess she doesn't announce her jump, you know. Ugh, I hate the jump so much. But yeah, I don't think I would change much about this fight. Just the dodge and the jump attacks are annoying, right? But totally worth it. And, you know, it's fun that this is a big optional thing. You know, you don't have to go do the crazy, insane fight if you don't want to. It's all your own for you to have to deal with, right? So I like that. And what do you think? You're watching my footage now. Did I get good at the game? Did I figure out how it was done? I think I kind of got the hang of this eventually, right? Shouldn't have taken that other health, but that's okay. If it's the Rastataskar ones, I think they disappear after a little bit. And, you know, much like all of my other experiences with the God of War games, I did not really use my rage that often, because I was saving it as my retirement rage, you know. You must only use it in your most... God damn it. You must only use it in your most desperate hour, right? See, that's a good use for that attack. It's when she's stunned, right? Just use all the runic attacks all at once. That's a good way to do it. But this ain't looking too hot, man. We're getting there, man. It's okay, I still got my extra life, though. Yeah, so when she does the shield, you can do like a little parry. The parry, like, knocks her out of the shield, you know. And I remember in one attempt, I actually got like real close, and then she just pulled out a wombo combo, killed me. We used my revive stone, and then the second I was back up, she used another wombo combo. And see, the timing with hers is different, right? Because I think there's one Valkyrie where it seems like it's a very long time before she jumps up, but this one, it's almost instantaneous. Oh boy. It's okay. I got my revive stone. I think we need to use my retirement rage. Oh, health. Goodies. I'm trying to remember, did I even need my revive stone in this one? I might not have. There you go, that's how you knew I had done this fight enough times, right? Alright, just go full ham, right? All the attacks. I also feel like when these bosses get down to low health, that they just get more defense, because, like, she's like 1 HP in a dream for, like, how long? Like, I get the fisticuffs don't really do a lot of damage, but still, like, I just want to finish her with the rage mode. Come on. Just die already. Why won't you die? Alright, those wings are mine. Yes. Oh, now that was satisfying indeed. You see right there, kids? That's a good God of War fight. Tough, challenging, but you get into the zone. You're required to master all the combat, and totally worth it. So, now, my next big question that I'm kind of worried, is there the equivalent to the Valkyries in Ragnarok? Do I have to fight them all again? Because that's a bit of a scary thought. I might have to really go into a ultra instinct mode. You know. We'll see. Only one Queen of the Valkyries. Freya. Oh, right. Freya. Yeah, the Witch of the Woods. Who is also Freya. Who's also going to be a little bit pissed off at us by the end of this all, I think. If I recall correctly, I may do something at the end of the game that causes her to be a little bit upset. You know, there are reasons, I'm sure. I'm sorry. But it'll be fine, right? It'll be totally fine. But there we go. We have done it. We saved the Valkyries and we saved the city. Hooray! Yeah. I'm a little worried to find out what the next equivalent is going to be. But I guess I'll get there eventually. When I stop playing Elden Ring, is Everdark Gladius or Libra up next? I guess we'll find out. But it'll be pretty good no matter what, I'm sure. It don't matter. Past the past. I'm trying to remember, did I do this before beating the game? I'm not sure. I don't know if you get different dialogue if you do this at the end of the game or not, right? I mean, it's nice that you can keep playing the game afterwards, you know? Like, I always like when a game lets you just finish it all up later. Anyway, you best strap yourselves in now. We've got a pretty long one coming out, because what we've got still, like, how much left in the video? 40 minutes. And it's all really just the final battle, right? It wouldn't be a God of War game without a very lengthy, long final battle, right? I do think that's fun that we actually got to go inside Jormungandr, you know? You ever hear that one about Jonah and the whale? But yeah, Baldur was pissed. That's the one thing that does kind of confuse me, is it's like, well, no, Baldur, he was stuck in Helheim, right? Because we had to do that whole thing with flying the ship out of there, which, again, that was a pretty cool segment. I liked that. That was fun. And, you know, surprise, surprise, bad guy is just a whiny white boy with mommy issues, right? Never seen that before. And where are we now? We are here. It's funny being inside a giant monster, getting thrown out of it, and falling into a big snowy area. Yeah, this also game took some notes from Dead Space 3, I'm just thinking, which isn't the worst thing, because I actually like Dead Space 3. Even if it's the most imperfect of the Dead Space games, right? Getting used to flying around. Man, Kratos is... This could be retitled Kratos and the Horrible, Terrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. Boy. And, yeah, what's going on? Well, it's, the dead giant is being possessed, or Freya goes to possess the dead giant. Right? Another one of Odin's ravens, or no, it's Freya. Hey, Freya, how's it going? Right, you were a little upset at me because I said I was going to kill Baldur, right? Yeah, she'll get over it. She'll get over it eventually, I think. I don't really know what her story is in Ragnarok. I'll tell you my extent of knowledge in Ragnarok. You get a dog sled like it's Balto. You fight a bear. You fight Thor. Odin is pissed. Heimdall is pissed. Freya is pissed. You kill more ravens, and it's all just for a dumb boss. And you stand next to a bear looking all aura farming. You know, that's what the kids are saying these days. So there you go. Now you know everything I know about Ragnarok. Oh, and then there's Strastataskov, or however you say his name. And Baldur was here, and he wanted to have his epic entrance. Oh boy, Baldur. Baldur sucks. I know, right? I don't know. I mean, people talk about this fight being like the best fight in all of God of War, and I don't know if I really agree with that. Because I found like the final boss in basically every other God of War game to be like, the ultimate challenge, right? The ultimate test of my abilities and knowledge of the game, and you put everything at use together, right, to figure it out. Ares in God of War 1, Zeus in God of War 2, and the Fates, or whatever, right? And Zeus again in God of War 3. Was it against Thanatos at the end of Ghost of Sparta? And there's Chains of Olympus. I confused the two, but there was the Persephone fight, right? And those are all really good fights against well-established characters, but here, I don't know, he's some whiny guy, and I didn't find the fight to be too difficult. And I don't know if it's a matter of being over-leveled, but like also, you saw how difficult Sigrun was, even being high level. So, I don't know. And also, these are all played on normal difficulty, right? 'Tis the normal way to be normal, is to play on normal difficulty, right? Yes, I don't know. It's more of a straightforward, fun spectacle fight. Not really like a crazy, insane, difficult fight. But it is kind of fun to have the whole, like, the guy you fought at the beginning, but now there's a lot more to it, right? Mom, just let me fight my brother. I know he's not my brother, but this really has kind of like when your mom's trying to break up the siblings from fighting. It's pretty funny, right? So there's kind of an interesting dynamic in there that, like, Baldur is just, not cool and evil, and Freya wants him to be not evil, but she doesn't want to kill him. Just, maybe maim or seriously injure, right? So, it's fun, but yeah, the other thing, I guess, the vibe I kind of get from this fight to an extent is, it still feels more like a playable cutscene. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a comparison, like, did Metal Gear really do that? Some cutscenes it did that. And, he one-punch Falcon punched the guy, right? But, is this the one? The secret was revealed. His weakness was mistletoe, right? I think, is that what it is? The mistletoe from Singri, right? And it turns out that was his weakness all along, and that's why when Freya saw the arrow, she was like, "These are bad, you shouldn't use those, use these instead." It was all revealed. He's all like, "Show me your rage, Snake. Show me your rage." And that was his weakness. I don't really know much of the actual Norse mythology lore about Baldur, but was it kind of like a sort of Damocles type thing, where, like, he was pissed that he was predicted to die or something, and yeah, so then Freya just resurrected the corpse of was Thalmor? What's the big corpse name? Is it Thalmor? I don't know. Mistletoe. Yep. I guess that means no making out for him, right? Oh no, he's gonna die a virgin. So, yep. Now I remember Baldur has no weaknesses whatsoever. His, like, mind was wiped or whatever, and he knows everything, except Baldur has no specific weaknesses of any kind, right? Let's see, this is cool. There's some good visuals going on around here, right? And again, I'm not saying that the game needs to be like all about the end of the world or, you know, the end of all times. Which is, you know, ironic, seeing as the next game is called Ragnarok, right? So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I do like the hype that this game has generated. Like, I am, despite the fact that I did not dig a lot of the gameplay changes, I am still excited to see what happens. Because, like, they've done a good job of, like, building up these names. Again, I think I said already, like, Batman Begins, right? You watch that movie and you're like, this is a great movie. But then they end it with that Joker tease and you're like, oh, so the next one's gonna be even better, right? It's gonna live up to the hype. And it did. Maybe on a bit of a lesser extent, Mass Effect 2 and 3, you know, it ends with that real good tease of, oh no, my boy. That really good tease of the Reapers all coming out of dark space, right? And did Mass Effect 3 deliver? Well, for the most part, it delivered. And, you know, I'm not going to say Mass Effect 3 is a bad game, but it's the most flawed of the trilogy. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. I still enjoy it. It's just with some caveats, right? Like, you finish the game, and then you instantly go and load your save and have a rowdy party, and that's the canonical ending. You know, how it should have been, right? But yeah, I don't know. Like, the fight's fun, and I get the whole thing, like, oh yeah, when he's Frost, you gotta use the Blades of Olympus, and then when he's Fire, you gotta use the Leviathan Axe. Like, I understand all that. But I don't know, it just really boiled down to mash quick attack, like, that's why I liked the Sigrun fight, because it was like, okay, I've got to, like, learn, like, what to do in certain situations, I've got to learn the patterns, but here I didn't feel there was much for learning, it was just, you know, spam quick attack. Something I like in a boss fight is, like, having to figure out the trick, right? That's, you know, part of the fun to it. And I didn't really get that here. So, I don't know. Mom, look, I just need to teach my younger brother a lesson, okay? Like, look, we just let us fight, okay? We'll hammer it out, right? We'll clean up later, you know, and just get some bandages ready. And, yeah, that was good. Well done, boy. Boy. I don't know, and then, how do I feel about Boy's character? He's alright. Like, the thing is, he needs to be an annoying little shit, but he still needs to be, like, one that you're invested in. And I'm like, I'm half there, you know? Okay, so Mom, like, the ads are going to attack me. I see ads, I'm keeping up with the lingo. But can they attack Baldur at all? No? Alright. And see, now I understand. Oh, it's fire, so I should use ice. I get it now. I know elements. Yeah. Where was I? Fire, the ice, the learning the moves. Boss fight. Oh boy, yeah. So he's decent, you know. I don't know, it's a very tough thing to do, you know, have a character that is intentionally annoying, but also, like, you still, like them. So I would say for the most part they've pulled that off. Maybe I could have done with a mod just to, like, make him talk a little bit less. You know? Like, some of his callouts are helpful, and they are useful. But I don't know, I didn't feel like the same level I felt of connection with, like, for example, Ellie in the first Last of Us. Like, I liked that, like, how as the game progresses, it's just like she starts doing the whole, like, Booker catch, Booker, I found ammo. And then, you know, eventually, like, she's, like, you know, helping you out of grab attacks and the first time it happened, I was like, damn. You know, who I also really loved was Dina in Last of Us 2, right? That was great. You know, she would like take out guys from here. Like, I would stealth kill one, she would stealth kill the others. That was great. And now this is my other dilemma, is like, Freya doesn't want me to kill Baldur, but Baldur wants to kill Freya, and she would rather die, but I don't want her to die. Have you seen her, man? She nass, right? I mean, that's the other good thing about this game, is it still keeps in the God of War tradition that most of the characters are hot. This is very important in a God of War game. Most of the characters should be hot. Not Baldur, though. Again, I just think his look's been ruined a little by certain groups of people for me, right? Which is unfortunate. It's not his fault, though. It's other people's fault. You know, it's dumb people ruining Viking runes and that type of imagery for other people. I don't know. But, you know, Thor, I've seen Thor in Ragnarok, and ooh, he looks pretty hot, you know? Sometime today, boy. There we go. Yeah, the teamwork feels fun. Come on, let's break his neck. Break his neck. Alright. No? I don't know. Always, of course, we need someone to be like a badass stealth archer, right? That isn't also that boy can get like attacked or get grabbed by enemies. I think there's like a bit of a thing where you need to save him. Those are some fun bits, right? Yeah, so serviceable indeed. I don't know, again, I'm probably sounding like a negative Nancy, and if you do really love this game, that's fine. It's just, I don't know, like, I've played it, and I absorbed it, and I've watched many videos. I was like trying to find like, what is it that everybody loves, and I don't know, man, I just feel it's like, no, you still keep asking that, man. Nanomachine, son, you can't hurt me, Jack. And yeah, this here is meant to be like the big final moment, I think, you know? And, yeah, like I'm like barely breaking a sweat. I don't know. It's if the fight is intended to be a victory lap, that's okay. But it just felt a little unsatisfying to me to like, you know, nail this fight first try. Alright, and, you know, barely take a scratch. I was wanting a little something more substantial, right? Not that a fight needs to be difficult to be good. You know, some of my favorite fights in Dark Souls are some of the easier ones, like Quelaag. Not the most difficult fight, but a really good one, you know? Or, you know, some fights are good and they're difficult, like Melania. Or, you know, another one that I don't really have trouble with too much is Dragon Lord Placidusax, but that's a good fight, right? Or Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, right? Again, see, Dark Souls has done it too, where like the final boss is more of a victory lap, per se. And Gwyn, I think, is a good balance of he's really difficult if you do a certain playthrough, but if you do another certain style, he's like pretty easy, right? Mom, quit it. I realized it was probably a little meaningless to use the fire weapon when he's in fire mode, but oops. I guess that's the other thing as well, is it's I ended up liking the combat a bit more eventually, but that's when I felt like everything was like fully unlocked. Like you've got 2 runic attacks, the parry, the riposte, the Blades of Olympus, having Boy upgraded. It's just like, oh, it's kind of how I feel about some of the characters in Night Rain, you know, like Guardian, right? I didn't really dig him at first, and same with Duchess. I didn't really dig them, but that was because a lot of their best abilities are like locked behind certain relics. And it's kind of how I felt here. Was like a lot of the best combat moments are locked behind certain abilities or skill trees, so you know you gotta earn it. But it was difficult to get over that that very awkward opening phase. And yeah, here we go. And this is another moment I knew. Yep, he knows how to speak World Serpent. And yep, Jormungandr to the rescue, right? Deus ex World Serpent. And okay, yeah, so that was a good moment. This is the thing I say, you see game, you do know how to have cool spectacle moments, right? And are you still gonna do it? Do I need to do it? Do I need to put you out of your misery, man? Can we live and let live, perhaps? You know, maybe we can work together. You know, build a fire, sing a couple of songs, sing Kumbaya, and you know this was like a nice dynamic, and again, I did like this. It was an interesting thing. Like again, you know, Freya doesn't want to kill Baldur. Baldur wants to kill Freya, and we're trying to be like, bro, like just stop, right? Get over it. But he leaves us no choice, you know. So I like that, and also, but it's still deliberate that Kratos kills him, you know. It's not like he accidentally does it, like, I didn't mean to, and, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do it, right? It's like, no, I very much intended to do this, and meant to, right? Yeah. And the daddy issues and the mom issues, we need both of them here, right? But yeah, I'm excited to see where her character goes. And I'm interested to see how the plot sort of unfolds, because again, that was the thing I wonder was how are they going to do it with the whole one camera take, and you know, they made it so most of the game's events take place over the course of a day. It does another thing I like, that is, I'm always if the game's taking place over a day, I'm always a little bit of a sucker for having like the time of day displayed and like, you know, slowly changing, like it's midday and then it's closer to the night, and then it's finally sunset. I really liked when Dead Space 3 did that, one of my favorite details in the game. You know, it started off bright and midday, and then the sun is slowly setting, and as we get to the end, it's nighttime. Right? I like that. Or in movies like Force Awakens, I like the whole them draining the star for Starkiller Base, and then having it slowly become more and more night. It's I don't know, something about it, just a subtle detail to show the passage of time. Night Rain does that, quite literally, because it's part of it. So, yeah, I like that. So what would you do here, right? He's going for his Evangelion moment, right? Choking someone out while they hug you. What do, right? Do we let him do it? Nope. Keeps talking that weird Viking language. Let's break his neck. I could have walked away, but the cycle ends here. Yep. And it all comes down to a neck snap, right? That's Man of Steel for you, am I right? That's Dragon Ball. And, yeah. I'm sure this will cause no repercussions. Oh no, my boy. ASDF animated films, what? Yes, I am a millennial, how could you tell? So, yeah, I don't know how well this is gonna go over. I pissed off Freya, goddess of the Valkyries, and this is quite a nice speech delivered from her here. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think she'll get over it. I think she'll get over it eventually, maybe. That's the thing I wonder now. So is his soul going to be in Helheim? I'm not sure how it works. I don't know. Jeez. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to show, there was that, because it's not a boss fight, but that scene with Athena in the boat. I really liked that one too. But again, if the game's going to acknowledge the previous games and have the little hints of it to show, like, this is still the same continuity, right? I don't know. Like, maybe it was hidden in the audio logs or something, but I didn't fully get how we got here, right? Because I know the idea was that, like, you know, he stabbed himself with the sword to, like, unleash hope, power of Pandora into the world. And so, because he was a god, though, like, he gained his god powers back. So he didn't die from that, right? He just unleashed the power, so I know how he lived, right? Yeah, we'll see how we got. I think he used some magic or something, but again, don't spoil it for me. Because I know there's that one weird bit where we see, like, Greek Kratos reach through a portal and attack Boy. So, yeah, parents really suck in this game, isn't it? Maybe that's why everyone loves this game so much. Hey, what do you know? Oh, jeez, we've still got nearly 20 minutes left in the video and we're done all the boss fights. Did I need to put that much lore in the story? I guess it just felt wrong not to have the cutscene finish out, but I told you we were going to be in for the long haul with this one. Are you handling it okay, Mr. Krabs? Yeah, I was trying to figure out, I had a thought, because part of me wants to wait to do all the Everdark Sovereign bosses in one video, but then I also had the idea, what if I had, like, a video dedicated to each one, and I showed you a win with each character, because I've been doing that. I've currently beaten every boss with every character. Not all solo. I do not like playing Recluse solo. I never play Recluse solo. She just does not work for me. If I'm going to stand there, standing still, spamming a bunch of spells, I need somebody to take aggro for me, right? Even though Revenant can't regen FP, she at least has someone to take the aggro. Yeah. And, yeah. Also, I'm sorry, I have not given a shout out yet to Christopher Judge, because in the original games, of course, it was, what was it, T.C. Carson was the voice of Kratos, and now we have Christopher Judge, and he also does a very good job. You know, it's a very different style to it, right, rather than the loud, angry Kratos. But he's still got that loud anger to him. So he did a pretty good job, you know, and he won Best Actor, Best Voice Performance, so that's cool. I like that. And yeah, can't go to Vanaheim. We can go to Jotunheim, though, at last. And, yeah, there were a couple realms we didn't get to go to. We didn't get to go to Asgard. Are we going to get to go to Asgard and Ragnarok? I don't know. And that's the other thing I don't know is, does Ragnarok end also with more sequel bait? I think it does, and they came up with that DLC, the Valhalla DLC. And again, no spoilers, I don't know what that involves, I just know it was like a free DLC they came up with, right? And they released it like 3 days after announcing it, so that's pretty cool. So I don't know where we go from here, and I'd kind of like that. I mean, this game, 2018, I kind of had a lot spoiled for me because at the time I wasn't super into God of War, and that's why I kind of just, like, ignored everything on Ragnarok when it came out, because I knew it was going to be those ones where everyone said, this is the greatest game of all time. And, we'll see. But I don't know. And it is like, yeah, no, oh, let's give us an ass moment. He's just gonna hang around, you know, don't get too far ahead. Hey, Brock and Sindri. Yay. Yeah, this is like, I want to also make it clear, it's not like I'm just complaining that the game is not the OG God of War. You know, that is part of it, right? It's an entry in a franchise, so naturally I do have to compare it to other things. But like looking at it as a standalone game, well, I don't really care for the side questing and the exploration. Feels awkward, feels annoying, and feels like it deliberately wastes my time. Not the biggest fan of the combat or the controls. The game does sometimes remember to have a good FOV and then chooses to ignore it in favor of this claustrophobic bit. I don't like how a lot of the combat feels really awkward until you unlock certain abilities. That was not the way in the previous God of War games. But it looks pretty, it's got its own style to it, and I guess the story is nice. And again, like I know what they're going for. They're just going for this vague idea of the feels. And we're climbing a stairway to Yonheim. But I did find it hard to connect. I mean, it's just the game. The game tells me, oh man, we feel sad about Mom. Remember all these cool times we had with her, right? And yep, that's the spot there. That's the bit. And this is the bit where earlier we had our weird little astral projection vision, you know. And yeah, it's a nice moment here. I think I kind of looked around because I was like, is the game going to randomly decide to hide a goodie here? You never know. And yep, it's finally time to take the bandages off, right? Is it the bandages? Oh, right, they're covering the marks of the chains that were burned into his skin, right? And he was hiding the chain marks because they were like bound to him essentially by the power of Ares. That's the other thing I wonder is God of War Ragnarok going to open with some reason of me quote-unquote losing my powers like all the other ones, you know? There was always a reason for it, right? And that's just part of how it is, right? We shall see. And there we go. You can hold her now. That's nice. Man, after everything I went through, I'm really surprised that bag is still holding together. But that's nice indeed. And of course the soundtrack is top. I mean, as I said before, Bear McCreary and Ivor doing their thing. Is she part of Ragnarok? I really hope so. And that's like half the fun right there. You never know if they're going to hide a goodie or something. And of course there was lots of weird, vague foreshadowing, right? Mom was part giant. It's all predetermined. It's all a recording. And this is why she wanted us to come and spread the ashes, because she knew it was going to lead to all these other events, and was going to lead to us finding out that a boy is part frost giant, and perhaps there's this prediction that Kratos is going to be dead. I don't know, man. We'll find out. But here we go. We are indeed standing on top of the world. But what's this we find? The giants are all dead. They're all no more. That's another nice moment. It's weird. The giants are all dead. They're not walking around, but this kind of reminds me of that weird scene from Green Knight. You remember? That's a great movie, man. It's so trippy. Yeah, more reminds me of going up to the top of Archdragon Peak and finding the giant dead dragon, you know. Yeah. And let's make sure we don't give some speech about Vietnam. You know, what does any of this have to do with Vietnam, Walter? It doesn't have to do anything about Vietnam. Just don't even bother, you know. All right, Ivor, tug my heartstrings out, will you? Thank you. I mean, you can't hear, but I know that's her. She's great. If you haven't checked out Ivor before, you should do it, man. She's great. She did some music for The Last Kingdom as well. And I've seen her perform some Baldur's Gate 3 songs live. That's also fun indeed. Yeah, she's great. And alright, fine. Perhaps this gets me a little emotional. It is a very nice moment indeed. Yeah. But that is almost getting us to the end of the game. We just have a few little more moments to wrap up. Faye. Oh, that's nice. So the giants are all gone. They went and hid in Jotunheim and they all died off. Somehow. I don't know. Perhaps that will be revealed in future. And I'm interested to see what exactly is the deal with the Ragnarok. Is it going to be that, like, it's predicted that Kratos is going to be the one to do it, right? So boy is part giant and part god. And of course, his true name, is Loki. My name is Khan. The giants called me Loki. Oh, that is a pretty fun reveal indeed. And yeah, so that's I'm gonna be interested to see how that develops, right? Boy is Loki. Yeah, a question for a sequel. I don't know, it's yeah, there's a fine line between setting stuff up for a sequel and sequel bait, and I don't know, that was just the vibe I got from God of War. Like, maybe they just didn't want to, like, waste all the best characters too early, perhaps. Like, they didn't want to start off with, like, Thor and Odin and all that. But yeah, there we go, the credits are rolling, yay. And I thought this is a fun way to do the credits, there's still in-game, and we're heading back to start. So I like that. It's a nice moment, a nice way to do it. Why did we want? Because I wanted to be like, Atreyu. Atreus. Oh, right. Atreus. Is he... It's not his brother. That's Deimos. And is it the one Spartan that we fight in God of War 2? The last Spartan? No, I don't recall. Did we know him? Is he just like throwing a name out there that we've never known? I don't remember. I don't remember all the details. I mainly remember, turning Zeus's face into a fine pulpy mist, but that's another thing, right? Yeah. Anyway, it's a nice note to end on. Yeah, that is God of War. The God of War. So again, it's not a bad game, but I don't know, the style is not for me. And that's okay, not every game has to be for everybody, like, I know a lot of people hate Dark Souls and Elden Ring, right? A lot of people hate Shadow of the Colossus. A lot of people can't get down from Mass Effect. A lot of people aren't into games like Dead Space, and I did not know if I would be into the original God of War games, and it turns out I was. I really loved them a lot. I really vibed with them. But yeah, this style of game is it's just not for me. Sorry to say, but I played it so I can have my own opinion on it, and I don't regret playing it. I don't regret it. We'll see how Ragnarok does. Perhaps it might retroactively make me appreciate stuff a little bit more. I can do this, man. 5 minutes to go. We're almost there. Bickering about the weather. Oh no, they're neurotypicals. And it's kind of a fun note to end on. The game doesn't really end. It just sort of is like, we're back to free roam and you can do what you want. So for you to uncover this kind of, secret ending is up to the player to do, right? I don't think there's anything that actually tells you, hey, you should go home. It's just kind of like what you do. In fact, and I think it was just I was playing, and like my wife said, hey, see what happens if you go back to the original location, right? Can you actually go to bed? And yeah, you can. No, it's really weird. I heard some people complain that this looked like it was going to be the start of like a boss fight, and it was resigned to sequel bait. I'm like, no, this was very clearly like a teaser, like, Kratos will return. Like, did you not see the credits roll already? Like, this is just, again, this is the Joker card from Batman Begins, right? Just kind of like a fun little thing to get you hyped, like, yes, who are you? Who could this person be? Let me see the hammer. Yes, and he's thick too. We've got thick Thor, baby. I'd better not miss a damn thing. So yeah, that is how you end your game with a fun tease. Now, will the game live up to the hype? We shall see. One thing I'm kind of not sure if I've had spoiled is, so I know you fight Thor in the beginning, but my question is do you fight him later? Or is it like you're going to, and then you don't, you fight Odin instead? I don't know if I've had that part spoiled for me or not. Yeah, so, but again, don't tell me. So again, if I said anything about the story or complained anything that gets answered in Ragnarok or elaborated on, or if I missed something, don't tell me. Right? I would appreciate no spoilers if possible. I mean, it's a game that's been out for a couple of years, so if it happens, it happens, right? I've already had a few details on Death Stranding 2 spoiled for me, which is another game I would like to play, but the problem is games, it takes so long to play these days, and there's so many bits and pieces, and I'm the type of person that wants to experience the game in whole, all of it, not just a little sample. I would never want to be a professional game reviewer, because I would just hate the idea that, like, okay, the game came out, now you've got to drop everything and just go, full send on it, right? Like, the people who, the game comes out and they've already got, footage released of a boss fight. I'm like, how? I know they probably hired somebody to help them, but it's like, I don't know, I don't want to just look up a checklist. That's why I sometimes don't like to do these videos on games that are harder to record, like on PS3 or PC, right? I like being able to record after I've done it, and set it all up properly. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it is, We'll see. But then I also kind of have to look up, are there missable bosses in Ragnarok? I don't want to miss out any bosses if I'm going to do an all bosses video. So, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we're getting close to the end now. I think I put in enough credits just so we could see Eivor's name there, Because I thought it would be fun. Again, why is this guy obsessing over Eivor? Look, I think she's cool, I think she's fun, and she's one of my wife's favorite musicians. Okay, I'm doing this for her too, because if I didn't, then I told her, hey honey, I made a video on God of War. The first thing she's gonna say is, did you talk about Eivor? You better have talked about Eivor. Yes, honey, I did. I talked about Eivor. They all know how cool she is. Yeah. Anyway, so yes. Don't take it the wrong way that I think God of War 4. Don't take it that I think it's a bad game. It's not a bad game. It is good, but it was the least investing of the games. Because every other God of War game, I still was in the zone for it. There wasn't ever a point where I had to push myself. like 1, 2, and 3, they all were like perfectly paced and flowed very well. I really enjoyed them, and I loved the style to them, and I was impressed by how well they held up, both, graphically and gameplay wise, and even the PSP games were still fun. Nice, short, and simple. But I did not really get that vibe with God of War 4, unfortunately. So we'll see if Ragnarok holds us up a little bit better. I don't know if I actually left Ivor's credit in there. Oh well. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that. Don't hate me too much. Hope you have a good night. Talk to you later.